Hello friends, welcome back to Swords and Feather. It has been a little bit of time since I have posted, and today we are doing something a little bit different than I typically do on this channel, and it's just something that, to be honest, I wish that this video had existed when I first started going to Electric Forest 10 years ago. And there's just been so many questions from friends and family who want to go regarding how do you have the perfect camping setup. And when I was doing my research online, obviously anybody can make a checklist, but there wasn't really any great information about people who have gone multiple years in a row and like exactly what setup, what products they are using, what was worth investing in and what was not. I also have not really seen a lot of content out there about campsite layouts and just, how do you go there for the first time and have the best experience, and it being a very big investment for all of us, between, travel and food and taking time off. You really don't want to make any mistakes or purchase anything that you don't need or purchase things that don't work, because it's just things are expensive these days, and it ain't easy, and we're all just trying to go and have this great experience, go have a safe experience, and to have the best time. The other thing that's really crazy about Electric Forest is, in my 10 years of going, the past 3 years, the weather has become a little bit more extreme and severe. And where there was like years, like my first 4 or 5 years that I would go, like there would be almost no storms or anything like that. The past few years have been extremely intense with the weather, like entire campsites being blown over. 2 years ago there was like half of the festival was spent outside of the out of the festival because they needed to be evacuated because of extreme weather. Just seeing so many people's campsites get destroyed, seeing their investments get destroyed, I felt that making this video is more important than ever. And I will be honest, I did rush a little bit, but only because we are now, we're getting really close to Electric Forest Week. Like, I think today's April 15th, so we're probably like 65, 68-ish. I'd have to look exactly days away from Forest. So I wanted to get this video up and share exactly what I've used that I believe is tried and true as quickly as possible, because, the quicker you can start thinking about these things and start investing in these items and procuring them for yourself, the better. Because the most expensive mistake that you can make going to Electric Forest is just waiting till last minute to just buy whatever, and you're buying random stuff that you don't even know if it's good. You're just going to Walmart and you're scrambling. This video is here to help you avoid all of that. Everything that I'm going to recommend, I will share a link, especially like the items that are higher price items like tents and things like in Easy Ups. We're going to talk about all of them and what I find specifically awesome about each product, so that this can be extremely helpful to you. You don't have to buy exactly what I bought. If you want to, you can. I'm not an influencer. So I will pin a comment with all the links to all the items that we are going to talk about today. But it will just give you a really good starting point on what you should be looking for and like how you should prepare yourself. So whether you are going to Electric Forest for the very first time or you are a tried and true veteran like myself, I think that we can definitely learn from each other. And so today in this video, I'm going to specifically hone in on camping supply stuff. I'm not going to be talking about the experience itself or getting to and from the fest, or I'm actually not even going to talk about like setting up your campsite kitchen or what food to bring or anything like that. Like, we are just solely talking about the campsite. And I'm actually pretty new to YouTube. I just started YouTubing, in July of last year, and pretty much before that I did not touch any social media. I barely knew how to use a camera or a video camera or know how to edit a video. So I'm still very new to this world. I actually now have 4 different YouTube channels, And so I'm not even sure how many people this video would reach. So I figured I would start off with this information first, and then if it actually is helpful and you enjoyed the video and lots of people have more questions, I'm more than happy to extend upon the education that you are going to receive today. So let's just go ahead and get started. I've got my laptop here just because there is genuinely so much to talk about and to discuss, but let's get into it. Let's talk about Electric Forest 2026, my personal camping essentials, how I set up my camp and why, including my exact layout, and just like tips and tricks to make your campsite comfortable. And I am very much a girl's girl as well. And my first few years of going to Electric Forest, I like definitely made a lot of roughing it type of mistakes, and that could have definitely made my experience as a woman much more comfortable. So I'm going to share some pretty juicy things that I've never heard anybody else talk about in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are obviously going to start with the number one thing that you gotta have, and that is your tent. All right, so in my entire, career at Electric Forest, I have gone through many times. I've tried all different kinds of tents. I have watched my forest family use all different kinds of tents and seen the pros and cons of all of them. But there's just a few things that when you are purchasing your tent that are, quality of life, like nice things to have, that I feel like if I were ever to purchase a tent ever again, these are my non-negotiables. So one of those non-negotiables is getting a tall tent. So the tent that I'm going to recommend today is called the Kelty Tall Boy. It is extremely easy to set up. It's just two really easy poles, very easy to set up. It's this really cute, seafoam green color, but I am like pretty much almost 5'9" and my husband is 6'3". And so having that taller tent just to come in and out of every single day is so nice. And honestly, the price of this tent is very cost effective. Like, why would I spend the same amount of money on a tent like this when I can get one that's taller? Like, I can get a tall one instead of getting a short one. So I highly recommend this tent. This tent is going to its 5th Electric Forest, and it has survived the worst of storms. When you are purchasing a tent, one thing that you got to make sure that you do every single time is, you want to set it up in your backyard or an outdoor space before you take it with you, just to make sure everything works and there's not anything missing, nothing is broken. And then you want to make sure that you are waterproof spraying your tent. This will make a huge difference in moisture getting into your tent when it will most likely and inevitably storm and rain at Electric Forest like it has in the past 3 years. Hopefully I'm wrong, but again, you have to be prepared. And so I use 2 cans of waterproofing tent spray on this tent, and every year I think we do a fresh coat on it too. But yeah, 2 whole cans, you spray it down, you let it dry off, and then you are good to go. This tent is waterproof. It's super easy again to set up. It's the perfect size for a king size tall air mattress. And if you do get a king size one, it'll take up the whole square foot of this particular tent, which is pretty cozy and pretty nice. And then, this is a great solution if you want to have more than 2 people sleeping in the tent. We very comfortably fit 4 pretty petite women on the air mattress, but I think 3 can be pretty cozy. And then if you are just a couple sharing this tent, then a queen size tall air mattress is going to be the best choice for you, just so you have some space on the sides and like in the front of the tent. So I love this tent. Again, I've seen so many tents come and go. I've seen ones like just flood terribly during storms, and this tent has been tried and true. No moisture gets in this tent. It is durable. It is awesome. And I personally really like that it's a cute color. And my friends actually all bought matching tents. So just having like a campsite with all cute matching seafoam teal tents is, for me, I'm a Libra. I'm very much obsessed with the aesthetic of things, but it also needs to function well. So it can really make your campsite a lot cuter if you have like all matching tents. And again, I know that you will be safe and comfortable inside this one. Again, this is my only tent that has survived 5 years of electric forest. Everything else has failed at some point. Everything else has been really uncomfortable to get in and out of because of the lack of height. So this is a great tent, and I feel that it's actually a pretty good price. And if you invest in this tent and you decide that you never want to go to electric forest again, or you never want to go camping or anything like that, like this is going to be a really great tent for you to sell on Facebook Marketplace or to a friend or anything like that. Like I think you can really get some good resale value out of this. The next item I'd like to talk about is the easy ups. So obviously there are so many easy ups to choose from. They can be quite overwhelming to choose from all of them, but of all of the different easy ups that I've seen and tried over the years, I love this Best Choice Products one because again, it has survived many storms. It has done awesome. So it's durable, it's strong. A lot of easy ups, the metal steel part of it just is not going to be able to handle a severe windstorm. Like it's just going to crumple like a piece of paper. I've seen it time and time and again, but this easy up has crushed. Again, my friends saw that I had it, they loved it, and they also purchased the same easy up. And then there's two really unique features about this easy up that I think make it a no-brainer. And the first one is that it literally comes in every single color that you could ever possibly want in an easy up. You can get a purple one, you can get a pink one, you can get a camel one. There's literally 3 pages on Amazon of like all the different colors that you can get, which is so fun versus just getting one of those like plain blue ones or plain white one. And I actually put this purple easy up over my tent itself. That really gives your tent a ton of shade and protection from the weather elements. And there's a few other good reasons why I recommend having an easy up over your tent, but it gets very hot in there. And it gets very hot inside your tent, especially at electric forest. But if you put your easy up over your tent, now you have all this extra shade and you're getting much better sleep and you're staying much cooler. So I definitely recommend getting an easy up to put over your tent. The second feature that's really awesome about this particular easy up is that it comes with a side wall. So it's just like something you zip up at the top of the canopy. And this side wall has pockets in it, and it's also like foil reflective. The extra storage space on this wall will come in so clutch. Like trust me, you're gonna find a bunch of trinkets and knickknacks. Like things get really disorganized really fast at campsites, especially with multiple people. It just happens. It gets crazy, it gets disorganized, this and that. So having the extra pockets and having the that sidewall there is awesome. It also will, create that shade and block off the sun from that one side. I'm sure you have looked at pictures of campsites, and usually people have like tapestries all along the sides of their easy ups and everything just to block as much sun and bring in as much shade as possible while still allowing wind to go through. So this will just, you don't have to worry about a tapestry. That one of those walls are already covered and functional for you. So I definitely cannot recommend this one enough. The next thing that I want to talk about, and this is a little bit unique. I haven't really seen many other people set up their campsite this way, but how you're staking down your tent and how you're staking down your easy up really matters. Usually the stakes that they come with are really crappy and really weak plastic, and they're just like a straight little pole that you put right into the ground. But a lot of people don't know this about electric forest, but because it is on a horse ranch, the terrain there has grass over top, but then there's also a lot of sand underneath that grass. So therefore, like, it doesn't have the same hold that just straight dirt would. So things slip out of it even easier. And like when it gets wet, it's like, it's not very reliable. And when you're dealing with like insane wind, like we're talking about wind that over a flat field that can blow away someone's tent, And the reason that I get concerned about this is because I've seen it with my own eyes. Someone who didn't like stake down their tent and their stuff properly, and then one of these storms comes through and like their shit just blows away and it crumbles like a little piece of paper. And then the worst part is that sometimes I've witnessed like people's poorly staked campsite blows into somebody else's, and now you're damaging somebody else's campsite, or worse, you're damaging their vehicle. God knows, maybe it's a rental. Like I've actually even seen, those really, really big easy ups that they use for weddings, like giant, like I don't even know how many feet long they are, like 50 feet long, like those wedding canopies that they have for outdoor parties go flying. So it's really important that you invest in good stakes. And I'm sorry if I maybe went a little too deep with that, but I just want you to understand that I'm not just being like overly picky. Like you can't, like just the regular 10 stakes are probably not going to cut it if there's a really, really, really bad storm. So I have to give a shout out to my husband here because I would have never thought about this myself, but he actually purchases these stakes. These are made for swing sets, and as you can see, they obviously have that spiral to them, and like you literally have to crank them into the ground, but once they're in the ground they are not going anywhere, and they're ideal for, again, those ground terrains that are mixed with sand and other things like that, other particulates that don't have that strong hold. So I definitely recommend investing in these. They're very hard to get on the ground at first. Like you're definitely going to work up a sweat, but hopefully you can, if it's a little bit too tough for you to get them in the ground, there's tons of super friendly people and who will help you, who will be more than happy to help you get those into the ground. And then the other thing that we do is we will weave metal S hooks and ratchet straps into these stakes. So then we're ratchet strapping down our easy ups so that, again, everything is held down, nothing is going anywhere. And, this is a good way to, again, protect your investment, make sure nothing gets damaged, because again, I have straight up have seen metal easy ups just crumple up because the storms are so crazy. So if everything is still, nothing is moving, no matter how much it shakes or how strong the winds are, again, you're protecting your investment and you're just gonna have a really good time. Because if you're in that situation where shit's getting blown around, storms are being crazy or whatever, you're gonna be at your campsite anyways, and you're not gonna be inside the fest, and so you will just have so much more peace and like actually kind of enjoy the experience of being in the storm when your shit's all together. And I've seen so many campsites just collapse because of, they just were not prepared. And I don't blame them because, again, I have all the credit for this goes towards my husband, because I would have never thought in 100 million years to even try that stuff. And then the other thing too about the products that I'm recommending is that I know that they do really good and don't get flooded with water. A lot of easy ups that I've seen, a lot of tents that I've seen are designed in such a way that when large amounts of water enter them, they don't have a good way to let that water come out. So you have to like babysit, you have to like literally just keep pushing water off of the roof of your easy up or whatever, your tent. Otherwise, like the weight of the water is going to cause your whole campsite to collapse. Like I've seen it with my own eyes. So I don't want this to happen to you. It's very easily avoidable when you know what to look for. And like, again, when you're recommended products that actually will really work and I know can withstand it, because I've seen it myself. Like we've used these exact things in the storms and they have made it. So we can go ahead into the next section. So here I wanted to share my exact campsite layout. So I made this on Canva. This is a campsite for 4 people. We've been doing Good Life since 2018. So I would just, make sure that if you are going to use any of these, like this design or this setup yourself, to double check with your specific campground, whether you're in GA or higher love, what the exact dimensions are, and then you can modify obviously the layout. but there's a few things that I'm going to talk about, and like this is where kind of it gets juicy, because a lot of these things were just like random mistakes, or like random, like, okay, we'll just set up the campsite this way, and then it ended up being so fucking clutch, so fire, so awesome for many, many reasons. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is in the, like, let's just talk about the tent and the easy up area here. So we definitely have decided and found that having 2 easy ups is the way to go. Having 1 easy up over your tent itself, and then having an easy up for just like your common area, like where all your chairs are going to go and where your kitchen is, and all of that stuff is really nice. With having the easy up above your tent, as you can see, we have the tent like pushed up against one of the walls, and then imagine, so you have the side wall, so that wall is blocked off, and 2 tapestries, and you have your tall tent. What it does back here in this area is like now you actually have this little private corner where nobody can see you changing. So this corner has become so helpful, because I hate trying to change inside the car. I hate trying to change inside the tent. And so now I have this like little private corner where I can fully undress, get ready in that corner, and be in the shade and have full privacy, which is really, really nice. And just to be able to stand up and change, because for some reason at Forest it's not very convenient to stand up and change unless you're going to be like exposed to everybody. But if you set it up this way, you will have a little private corner. And then the other reason that I love this is because in the middle of the night, when you have to pee and you do not want to walk to the porta potties, or like, it just sucks. It, like, sometimes when you get up in the middle of the night and you have to pee and you have to walk to the porta potties, like, that's like where all the weirdos are, like they're harmless, but like they're just like kind of tweaked out, and they're, I don't know, they just like if I could avoid that whole situation and not have to walk to the porta potties in the middle of the night and be in a porta potty and just pee outside safely and privately, this is the little cheat code for you, because this little private corner behind your tent is now a perfect place where you can just take off your underwear, spread your legs, and let it rip. Like, men have been enjoying this for years, but now us ladies have figured out a hack where we can have our own little private bathrooms, and I just feel so much safer and way more comfortable doing that, where I know like all my friends are right there, like in their tents sleeping, like I'm not wandering off alone in the night. Again, I'm a girl's girl. I've never had anything scary happen to me at Forest or anything bad, but again, those guys who are just, there's always, I don't know why, there's always these weird guys that are just messed up and like hanging out around the porta potties, and I don't want to deal with it. I don't walk in the middle of the night and deal with it. It's so nice. Peeing outside is a great experience when you can do it privately. When it's nice outside, I pee outside in my own backyard. So ladies, trust me, you're going to want this corner. You're going to want to set up your tent this way. If you have an easy up, like giving yourself that little private corner in the back, it will be a huge like quality of life improvement while you're at your campsite. Okay, and then other than this layout, there's nothing really crazy that anything else that I'd like to mention. I think the camp layout itself is very straightforward. Having chairs, having a folding table for your kitchen area, having a folding table for your hanging out area is always really nice and convenient if you can. So yeah, I think this year we're gonna have 3 easy ups. There's enough space in the Good Life campsite for us to probably have 4, but it would be nice to be able to utilize that extra space, but who knows, if we decide to spend that extra money. We probably won't this year. A couple of other things that are really great to have at your campsite is to invest in a outdoor rug. We've tried different rugs throughout the years. We've even tried like the rubber backed ones, and the outdoor rug just wins every time because it is fine getting wet and then it dries really quickly too. So if you're looking for a good outdoor rug, because you probably want a pretty decent size one, I think ours is 8x10. A good place to look for them is, obviously if you have any like wholesale random type stores by you that just kind of sell random tchotchkes and things at discount. Usually every town's got at least one. Maybe you can check out your local Goodwill. I actually personally purchased mine from Temu. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh my God, like that's terrible. Why would you buy from them? I've actually had a positive experience buying some things from Temu, and like I go into it knowing that whatever I'm purchasing, I plan on using time and time and again. Like I don't like to purchase something that's like, okay, I'm going to use this one time, I'm never going to use it again. And this outdoor rug was one of them. And I actually think I got it for, it was something crazy, like $15. So, and it's a really cool mandala pattern. I will post like a couple pictures of our campsite from last year. I didn't know that I was going to be making a video like this, so I kind of regret not taking better pictures and videos, but you can kind of get an idea of like, yeah, it looks really cool and it functions really well. I used it other times throughout the summer, so I didn't really mind buying it from Temu, and a lot of times when you're buying these products, they're buying them from Chinese wholesalers anyways, so definitely look around. You can definitely find one for a good deal, and it should serve you for more than just electric forest, so it's worth it. We also have some smaller rugs. I like to have like a rug like right outside my camp door. I like to put my shoes there, and just like it's nice to step onto something soft right when you get out of the tent. Like again, I'm 33 years old now, so there's just there's just a lot of cozy things that I enjoy and need. Just those little things can really perk up my mood and make me feel really good and comfortable. I also put a tent or a rug in the little private space behind the tent too, because it's just nice to be staying on a rug while I'm changing. So those are some cool things to take into consideration. And so let's move on to some other like crucial items that I think you're gonna need for electric forest. So bulk water jugs are gonna be your friend. I see lots of people having these. These are the ones that we have. We're super happy with them. The pressure works really good. They just function on so many different levels. We fill ours with filtered water before we leave. So you can brush your teeth with them, you can wash your face with them, you can do all of your dishes. A lot of people just like use wipes and stuff all the time, but it's just really nice to be able to actually wash your hands, actually wash your face every night. So I can't recommend those enough. We brought 2 last year. Now, if you are in GA and when I was in GA, we actually used these to shower. So you would just put on your bathing suit, put one of these jugs like on top of your car, and like you will get really freaking clean. Like you'll get really freaking clean in your bathing suit. I literally just wash my hair. My husband would help me sometimes if I needed the extra help, like moving the jug or whatever. But you're in your bathing suit, so you get really clean. You can still do your full scrub down. Like obviously if you have any private areas, like you can take the jug with you into your like private little corner and like do a little wash up there. So in a way, like I felt that showering this way was way better than paying for the GA showers. I haven't been to the campgrounds. I haven't been to GA since probably 2017, but I don't believe that they have the air conditioned showers there like they do in Good Life. And the other problem that I used to face when I was in GA that really would upset me is that, not to throw shade or anything, like this could happen with any gender, but in particular, the women's shower line took forever. And like there were seriously girls who were in there for like 20 to 30 minutes. And I remember standing in line, finally having my turn to get in the shower. I was in and out like in probably like 3 to 4 minutes. And like the line of girls were cheering for me, like clapping for me because I was so fast. And the last thing you want to be doing when you are at Electric Forest is to be standing in the line to get in the shower, because that time is just so precious, and you want to spend it with your friends, you want to spend it getting ready, you probably want to spend it like eating food. Like there's so many other things you want to be doing instead of waiting in the line to take a stupid shower and then paying $10 or $12 or whatever it costs. So you could spend $50 on showers at Electric Forest, or you can invest in one of these jugs and shower very quickly and efficiently. So I can't recommend the water jugs enough. and that there are water refill stations at all of the campgrounds. So if you run out of water, no problem, just go fill up the jug. And you'll be ready to go. Okay, the next item I'm going to talk about are these bungee ball cords. So it's like a loop and 2 circles at the end of them. This is something my husband figured out. He started buying these. These are just nifty to have. You'll find a lot of uses for them. You might even bring them into the festival with you. It'll help, keep something attached to your body, or if something needs to be tied up and sealed. Like, it's just one of those like little camping hack things that are nice to have. I wouldn't say they're a must-have, but they have come in very, very handy for us time and time again. So it's just like one of those things you invest in, and you might even be able to use it in your life, like just like back at home or like in your garage, or if you have projects. They're just kind of a nifty thing that I don't see a lot of people using, but they have come in very handy for us. Foldable mirror. Okay, we're going to take a little water break. I'm usually a listener, not a talker, so I lose my voice really easily whenever I do these videos. Okay, foldable mirror. Okay, this is the other thing I feel like everybody struggles with at camping festivals. I've seen people bring like actual mirrors. Those are a bitch. They break really easily. They're just really annoying to bring in the car. I've tried all different kinds of like different mirror solutions. Most of them are too small. Last year I bought this mirror. I actually bought 2 mirrors. I bought one of these foldable hard case ones. Those ones broke like on the way to my house on delivery. So that was a bust. But this was the other one that I purchased. And it's a little bit probably pricey, but the length of it was awesome because I was still able to see my full length. Again, I'm like almost 5'9", and it's like made out of that unbreakable glass, so it's not super, super clear glass, but it wasn't like Walmart cheap glass either. Like, I felt like I could actually get a really good look at my outfit and how I was looking full length. So I know that this, again, is one of those things that's just really tricky to figure out at a campsite. So have no fear, this mirror will not fail you. Definitely worth investing in. And then we've got our coolers. So this is also another thing that can kind of make or break your experience if you plan on bringing food. I definitely recommend bringing food. You will just save so much money. And for us, we eat really healthy most of the time. Everybody in my friend group is that way too. And when you don't bring your own food, by day like 2, 3, 4, like you're just gonna really want a healthy meal, a nutritious meal. Like you're just gonna want a raw vegetable, and it's like it's gonna suck. One thing I hate paying for is salad, because it's like I can make this salad, it's so easy, and yet this time around I'm gonna pay like $20 or $30 for a decent salad. And you can avoid all of that if you just invest in a really good cooler. So these Lifetime coolers have the same technology in them that Yetis do. They're really, really good at keeping food cold. They are tried and true. They've been with us to many forests, many camping trips, and we've brought in steak and chicken and like lots of perishable stuff. And it's never let us down. And it's never let us down. So we kind of have like maybe a little bit of an over-the-top bougie setup for coolers. Again, this is my husband. My husband decided to do this. I'm not sure if I personally would have done this, but he was genius. Is that we actually have 3 coolers now. So we have one that's for drinks. That's our smallest one. That's a cooler you open all the time because you're constantly getting drinks, stuff like that. Then we have our medium cooler where it's like you put your fruits and your veggies and like those types of things in there, like things that don't really perish very easily. You open that cooler up a little bit more. And then we had our food cooler, which is like, this is food that could go bad really easily. We're almost never going to open this unless we are actually grabbing food, and we're keeping this one particularly cold. Now, I do think you could probably get away with just having 2 coolers, like one for your drinks and one for your food. I don't think you have to have 3, but if you can, between you and your friends, that's a really good way to set up your coolers. I thought it really made a huge difference, and normally, like, you will save a lot of money on ice that way too. It's like there's a lot of things that, because I've just experienced it and have gone to so many forests, I can see long term what ended up being valuable, what things ended up costing more money versus not. Like having a cheap cooler and having to buy way more bags of ice that you're going to use one time and that money is gone, versus investing that money in spending more money on a cooler and then buying less ice, but now you have this sick cooler that functions really well. Like those are like kind of the long term benefits that I've seen by just purchasing the better thing. A lot of times I think we can get caught up and tricked by thinking like, oh, this thing is cheaper, therefore it's gonna save me money in the long run, and I'm not gonna spend it. But later on you find out, actually no, that ended up being an expensive mistake, and now I've lost that money, and like the product that I spent it on is also gone. Like it was a perishable one-time use thing. So I highly recommend investing in a good cooler, because again, the money that you'll save just on bags of ice and then being able to bring like quality food with you that actually makes you feel really good goes a very, very long way. Again, I am 33 years old. I just like festivals feel really different for a 21-year-old versus when you're in your 30s, and so I know that if I'm going to have a great experience and get through it and feel my best the whole time, there are just certain things that I gotta have, and like good healthy quality food is definitely one of them. There's just only so much like vendor food that I can handle, and it's better to eat really clean and healthy in the beginning of the festival than towards the end, because then obviously, okay, cool, I ate all of my food and now I can go enjoy the vendors, and it's like just for the last couple days versus like I'm eating vendor food the whole time, I'm just eating french fries the whole time. Like I just get the good cooler. Yeah, invest in the good cooler. It's worth it. These Lifetime ones are awesome. They come in different sizes. So I think we have the large one, a medium one, and a small one. And so yeah, just keep in mind like separating those different perishables as well. That will save you a lot of money in the long run. And then last but not least, I just have like a list of other like neat camping gear things. I don't have any specific recommendations for these. These are just things that I've noticed over the years are very helpful to have, and you should definitely consider packing, and just like little tips and tricks here. So I'm gonna kind of like rapid fire through these because I'm worried that this video is already gonna be kind of long, but hopefully it's really helpful, and I'm trying to be intentional and deep with my explanations of things, because again, anybody can just make a checklist, anybody can just say like these are the things you need, and then but you're still kind of left clueless because you're not getting any of the reasoning, or you're not getting any of the reasoning as to why you should do those things or why you should purchase those things or what you should even be specifically even looking for. Okay, so let's go through the rapid fire. Okay, tarp. Yes, you have to put a tarp underneath your tent. And if you don't know this, I'm sure most of you know this, that you want to tuck the tarp under the tent, and you don't want it to be sticking out from the sides. Like you want it to be tucked and like folded over this way. So if you think about it, water cannot pool, it can only kind of like be funneled around it and off the tarp. You got to have this. This will really protect you from, your stuff getting wet inside your tent if there is a storm. Let's see, the corkscrew stakes, we talked about those. Make sure you bring enough tapestries to cover all of your walls. Blocking out that sun is going to be huge. The sun's really intense there. Another thing to remember is that this festival is held extremely far north, and it's also over the solstice. So it's kind of a bummer that it's over the solstice, because obviously like the sun doesn't set there till like 10 o'clock. So, and obviously nighttime electric forest is absolutely magical. So, but it's kind of a bummer because the nights are actually really short. So yeah, so just make sure that you have that in mind. Like any time that you can give yourself a break from the sun, and bringing those tapestries to keep you cool and happy and comfortable is definitely worth it. And again, like we talked about, having like your little private corner behind the tent, that can only happen if you have tapestries around to obviously block the two sides. Okay, next, air mattresses. So air mattresses are a pain in the butt. I've I've done like all the different kinds. My go-to, I think it's just the Intex Tall Queen, but I used to do the portable, like the portable air pump with the stupid giant batteries, and those suck. They're such a pain in the butt. I hate them. I hate those giant batteries, like just the whole mechanism of having to tinker with them, and then it just like takes forever. So I actually invested in the ones that actually have the 12-volt outlet, the ones that you plug into the wall to fill up. And if you go on Amazon, they have these like cigarette burner converters that you can buy for your car. So it's literally a cigarette converter plug-in. You put in the cigarette burner, but it has a 12-volt plug-in. And if you bring an extension cord, you plug that extension cord into that 12-volt. You want to make sure that your car is on and running. You run that extension cord to your bed, plug it in, and bing, bang, boom, your bed is inflated quickly and efficiently. And like everyone will be jealous because everybody else will be tinkering with their stupid air pumps and it just sucks. And so therefore, just invest in the air mattress that has a plug-in. Get one of those 12-volt cigarette burner plug-ins for your car. And just double test it, make sure it works well, like before you come to the festival, make sure just everything works. But I love it. I will never go back. It's just so stressful, so painful, to try to fill up and tinker with those like portable pumps. They're usually trash. Like, let's just be honest. If you've ever used one, you know that they're trash. They're just so poorly made. I hate those big batteries. So that is definitely a pro tip there. Let's see here. Yeah, bring extra sheets. I always bring 2 sets of sheets so that halfway through the festival I can have a fresh pillowcase, have a fresh bed sheet, your comforter, bring one comforter. I actually did invest in these, like, they're just like collapsible linen cubes that zip up, and so I fit all of my bedding in one of those cubes. I let my friend borrow the other one, so I'll post a picture of those here now so you can see what I'm talking about. But these were just really, again, another really nice quality of life thing to have, just to easily pack up my bedding. Because bedding is squishy and stuff, it was good for bringing in the car. It took up way less space that way. And they look pretty cute. And then once you have all of your bedding out of there, you can store other things in there if you need to as well. Let's see. Zero gravity chairs. It was so funny the first time I brought zero gravity chairs and we were staying with another group. They just absolutely couldn't believe how awesome they were. They'd never tried one before. I think they're so comfortable. The other thing that is a must-have for me personally is I have like a tanning lounge chair that like lays completely flat. I love that thing. I love to just be able to lay completely flat at my campsite. Everybody always wants to use it. So you don't always have to bring like just your standard camping chair and tables with the side table if you don't want to. Like, there's definitely other comfy chair options to consider, and usually they're not that different in price. I think all my zero gravity chairs were like all around $20 to $40 each. So if just think about like what you would be most comfortable with. Like, I'm not really comfortable in those like super upright, like, oh, camping chair. Like, that's not really how I am. I'm a loungy girl. So let's see. Folding tables. Okay, so carabiners. Obviously, people bring carabiners, but a really good thing to consider is bringing extra and making sure that the carabiners are large enough to clamp around your Easy Up, because it's just awesome to be able to hang stuff. I like when I'm peeing in the middle of the night, I use a carabiner to like carabiner clip my panties up there so I can pee. You know what I mean? Your bathing suit can be carabiner clipped onto your Easy Up, your bag. I mean, trust me, this is just a really good way to keep your campsite organized. So having a bunch of different carabiner clips, like you're going to get like a bunch of trinkets and knickknacks, and maybe there's something you want to bring that you don't want to forget. or pashmina, whatever. Anything can be carabiner clipped into the Easy Up, and just having more of these is better. I used to only just bring enough for like, my keychains and things that I would bring into the festival, but moving forward, I will always have a bunch of extra ones just to clip up any random things that I may want to clip up. Let's see. Battery operated fairy lights. I think that's like pretty standard. Make sure they're USB plug-in, and then you can buy battery packs on Amazon if you need to. Just make sure you bring extra batteries for all of those things. It's just really nice to have fun, colorful lights at your campsite. I have some cute pictures of the light setups that I've had in my campsite throughout the years. It just makes it really cozy at nighttime to have those. And usually they're very cheap. Let's see. Oh, a massage gun. I started bringing a massage gun to Forest probably 2 years ago. I tried to find the exact one that I have from Amazon, but they don't sell it anymore, unfortunately. And that was a good one for $35. But the massage gun, like when you get back after a really long day of walking and dancing your face off, and I'm like in the lounge chair and I'm just using the massage gun, the improvement of my mood and how my body feels in the morning is worth it. And everybody's gonna trust me. Everybody's gonna want to use your massage gun. Trust me, especially if you're 30 plus, just to be able to get in there in your shoulders. If my legs really get torn up, like they get really sore, you're gonna want to have the massage gun. Like it's just, again, any of these things that you can bring along with you that improves the quality of the experience and how your body feels throughout the whole experience, whatever is going to get you to Sunday feeling the best possible, you should do it. And the massage gun is definitely one of those things that will really help you. Like it does great. Like it really helps me recover a lot of my muscle stress and muscle tension that I would get every single day. Okay, so, this is one thing that I also wanted to talk about. So everyone's crazy about those hydro backpacks, and I totally get it. They look really cool. They do function pretty well. They keep your water pretty cold, but I don't do those anymore. I don't do the hydro backpacks anymore. And there's a few good reasons why I don't, and why I would recommend other people not to do it either. The first thing is that those hydro backpacks, like they're always really high up in this area, like in your neck and in your shoulder area. And then like having all of that weight here, it just really it would make the strongest man tense after a few days. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I stepped away from doing it. I just don't like how hot and sweaty I get too when I have those on. So I actually have now been opting into bringing a metal insulated half-gallon water jug that has like a case and a strap. I actually have a video of me carrying it from Forest last year, so I'll show it to you guys. And so I feel like these keep your water way colder for way longer. It's obviously so much easier to drink out of versus like doing the sucking motion. I don't like the way that those nozzles feel in my teeth and in my mouth, versus like just being able to like, oh wow, I'm drinking water. You know what I'm saying? Like I really thought about this. I'm a very sensory sensitive person, so like if you're like me, like it's just so nice to just be able to like take a swig of water. And then the other thing too is like doing a farmer's carry holding your half-gallon jug is like way better of a workout. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just my legs are fine. My legs are strong. My arms are strong. This part of my situation here, like this is the part that's most likely to get sore and fucked up. And I don't want to add any more tension into that area. But if I'm farmer's carrying this jug, it's just way easier for me personally. It will make me feel way better. I remember when my husband tried it for the first time with me last year too. He was like, whoa, like this whole part of my neck used to get so messed up at festivals, and it was because of those hydro packs. And so yeah, bring a water bottle. Plus, I feel like it's way easier to use in your everyday life versus a hydro pack. Like who isn't gonna use a metal insulated water bottle? And they're very cheap now. Like you can Like even the cheap ones keep water cold just as good as like a Yeti one would. So mine's an off-branded one and it works fabulous. I've had it for 5 years. A half gallon's great for a group of like 3 or 4. Will definitely keep you hydrated through a whole set. So it's so much easier to fill up than a hydro pack too. That's the other thing. So that clips, that's another thing that I just feel like I have to mention. You can never have enough alligator clips. We definitely did not have enough last year, and this is my personal reminder to make sure I get more of them, because that is how we hang up our tapestries every year, and somehow we always never have enough, and this will be the year that we will have enough. All right, we're nearing the end here, so there's only a few more items here that I want to rapid fire through. Just trying to pick my brain and see if there's anything like specific that I can speak on that would be helpful for you guys. Definitely don't forget your Bluetooth speaker or something better. Some of you guys may have like a really sweet sound setup. You know, don't forget to bring those things. I kind of think that that is everything. Those are definitely at least the bulk of the camping tips and tricks that I have to share with you guys today. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I really hope that it's helpful for you. If you see me at Electric Forest this year, please come and say hi. It would mean so much to me. Again, I'm a really small channel, I'm a really small YouTuber, but I am trying to step outside my comfort zone and do this creatively because I genuinely love making videos. And I do have a couple other ideas of things that we can discuss if you enjoyed this video. You know, one of the things I would love to talk about is, you know, what to wear and like how to pack for Electric Forest when it comes to your clothes and your toiletries, because that was definitely something we didn't talk about. You know, what I pack for food, things that just aren't worth bringing at all when it comes to food, and you know, how I actually prepare for the experience and make sure that I have a really good time. Honestly, a lot of it was covered here in this video. Like, I think if you can get this campsite thing really figured out, everything else is pretty easy. You know, even if you have wardrobe malfunctions, like you can get clothes there, like, but the campsite is just like one of those things that if you did not prepare for, it's gonna be really hard, or you're gonna have to leave the festival, go to the Walmart, which I will tell you will be basically shopped out at that point. So the more that you can prepare and have this stuff ahead of time, the way less stressful of a situation and experience that you will have. So thank you so much again for watching the video, and please leave any comments or questions that you guys have below. I would love to hear from all of you, and I hope you have the best and most safe time at Electric Forest. And we'll see, maybe we'll be having another little conversation before you head out there. Definitely the campsite is the hardest part, in my opinion, to get right. But again, more than happy to share any other tips and tricks and wisdom that I have if you found this video helpful. So I will see you later. Happy forest.